Hi, and welcome to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a spirit navigator, psychic medium, and today we're going to be talking politics, kinda. We're going to be talking about those drones that seem to be swarming all over the United States. And I don't know why I said that, but that's what I said. If you're new here, I am channeling 60% spirit guides, 40% Susan. Have lots of videos about political predictions, but I also have a great series on Wednesdays called Wisdom on Wednesdays, where my spirit guides impart some sort of hopeful and helpful wisdom to help you in your life. If you're interested, check out that video series by clicking on the logo. You'll go to my main channel and you'll see playlists. You can actually see a lot of playlists, but one of those playlists is Wow, which is Wisdom on Wednesdays. All right. And hey, if you're here, why not hit the subscribe button? Let's talk about these drones. Okay, now again, I am channeling, and that's what they said. They said swarming all over the United States. That's what they said. You got a problem with that? You know who to call 1-800 Spirit Guides. Press 6 for WTF drones in my backyard. I don't know. Okay, now here's the thing, you guys. Susan, the Susan part of this whole situation was kind of irritated that there were drones flying around and United States of America wasn't doing anything about it. And I will say, and please look up this information for your own edification, but my source, who I feel is very credentialed, told me that guess what? Drones are classified as aircraft. Drones are classified as civilian aircraft. Therefore, the military can't just shoot them out of the sky. Guess what? Your police officers cannot shoot them out of the sky. Of course, there are rules and laws that pertain to these drones. And obviously, these drones are not following any of our rules or laws. However, because there are laws that the military and the local police department and different authorities have to follow, that's why no one's doing anything. So I think it's good to know that because of the law, the military, whatever, you just can't fire at them. They're considered civilian airplanes. And the FAA has gotten involved, and a lot of these drones have to have pilot's license or special drone pilot license. So when you hear people say the government's not doing anything, this is one reason why. Now, let me also get to the second reason why. Again, the Susan part of this combination was trying to ask my spirit guides, what is going on? Why is this happening? Is this China? Is this some other country? Is it, who is it? Well, first of all, these drones are not hobby level drones. They're not Robert or Dylan out in the backyard trying to mess with you guys. That's not the case. These drones are bigger and they have capabilities that have been videoed and talked about through pilots. I've got a video that I'll link to the bottom of this description where it's nothing but pilots talking to ground control or air control around Seattle, Washington, Eugene, Oregon. My energy's all over the place. And they're saying, hey, do you see this on the radar? And the tower is saying, no, we do not. And it's a whole, maybe 30 minutes of different planes in different airspace talking to the same tower saying, we're seeing the same thing, including a medevac a plane that had medevac staff on board, and they all saw this thing, and it was red, and it was going at rates that they said it's not possible. And this is all around December 8th, just a few days ago. Now this is on the West Coast. Now a lot of you guys are seeing these things on the East Coast, New Jersey. People are reporting having seen them around military bases or even like big areas that would be sensitive, like maybe a dam or something like that, right? Also, I feel like they're in Texas. I feel like recently they've been seen off the coast of Texas. Now, interestingly enough, a lot of these reports happen to be within some distance of water, and some reports, and I don't have this firsthand, So, you know what? This is what it report is says that these things have been seen going into the water. Now, I'm going to switch over to my spirit guides because I'm going to tell you right now, they're not concerned. I mean, a lot of times I'm concerned about something like I want to be worried. I am worried. I'm like, come on, tell me what's going on. And they're like, I just can't get them to get riled up. Now, if the spirit guides are riled up, I'm riled up. Like I feel it in my body. I mean, I get nervous. I can be shaky. Um, I definitely know when the spirit guides are sending me warnings or sending me a heads up about something. And in this case, they actually told me these things are good. That's what they told me. Now, let me also say, even though the majority of the things we're seeing, I think, are UAPs or UFOs, they're going to be copycats. There's going to be some country or some entity, whatever the entity might be, could just be a very wealthy person that doesn't mind blowing $100,000 on a drone that are going to get out there and try to just, you know what I'm saying, just copycats. We understand what that means, right? So not all of these things are going to be UFOs. I'm just going to call them UFOs, even though I think the new terminology is UAP, which is unidentified aerial um, phenomenon. Not even going to call it a plane, not even going to call it a vehicle, a phenomenon. Like, so they're just open it up to energy, right? It's a phenomenon. We don't know what it is. But I'm going to call it for the sake today. I'm just going to call them UFOs. Now, as I said, I put a video in the description that is nothing but a recording of tower to plane back and forth conversations. A lot of those things are public and can be recorded. The only part of it that's not recorded is they asked a Coast Guard helicopter that was out doing a search and rescue off of the coast of Oregon to, first of all, they wanted to give it a heads up. And second of all, they wanted to ask if this thing had seen anything. They did get the Coast Guard on the radio, but the part where the Coast Guard either confirmed or denied is missing. So that part got redacted, but all the other parts, all these other pilots are seeing things that are just not explainable. Like like a a, a UFO or a thing shooting straight up in front of them and then going straight down in a corkscrew pattern. These pilots are stone cold sober describing these things and even have video. I don't think the video was included on this. It was just the audio, but they talked about trying to capture video. They said it just goes by too fast. It's not even something that we can understand the speed of. Okay, now what the spirit guides are saying, and always take everything I say with a grain of salt. If you don't want to believe me, that's fine. I ask you to be respectful. 100%. I'm respectful to you right now. I expect you to be respectful of me in my comments. If you're disrespectful of me in my comments, I will block you and you won't even know it. You'll just be commenting away, but we'll never see it. Okay, so think twice before you do that. All right. Now, what I'm getting is it's good. And I've done a lot of videos on this, you guys. What I know from my own channeling, but also we know this because of history, is that the UFOs, they showed up around nuclear testing around the 40s and 50s. We remember the Foo Fighters, right? That the Foo Fighters that the plane pilots would see that would not be real, that would be UFOs, basically. We know that UFOs have intervened in our usage of nuclear weapons. Of course, we did the Hiroshima. After that, they realized these people are not trustworthy. They're not mature enough to handle this kind of thing, and we're going to intervene. Now, why would they intervene? Well, we've talked about this a lot on this channel, especially on my Way Out Wednesdays or my Wisdom on Wednesdays channel. And it's really very simple. The earth puts out a vibration. Okay. It does. We know that. It's called the Schumann resonance. Okay. It puts out a vibration. Now, if the Earth is really threatened, it starts to put out a different vibration. That different vibration actually affects other planets, other existences. It's a little bit of like your neighbor having a party with the music too loud. You call the cops go over there and they turn the music down. Well, this is what happens. UFOs are the cops. When we do things on our planet that disrupts the natural order of all of the existences around us, they come in and quiet us down because we're the kids. This is romper room. The earth is romper room, and we're down here romping. We're down here having us a party and wrecking the place. Okay. But there's a tolerance. You can tolerate so much, right? So once we get out of that tolerance, boom, they come down here. Now, here's what they told me today. They told me that it's good that these entities, these beings, I don't know, a spacecraft, I don't know what I want to call them right now, but whatever, they're here to help us. They're here to protect us, number one, but it's also a warning. Okay. Um, it's a warning because, and I'm channeling, we need to change our ways. We have gone too far and we're dangerously off balance. Okay. So right now they're showing me climate change. They're showing me, some very severe climate change ramifications, they want to say. That's one thing. But the other thing is, and I don't know how much of this I can say because number one, I don't want to say too much and get myself in trouble with them. And number two, I don't want to get myself in trouble with anybody out there that thinks that I've said too much. So, because I've done whole videos and had to go back and edit and find the little thing that I said that my spirit guides thought was too far and had to edit it out. It's no fun to do that. So I really would rather not do it. So can I? Yes. Okay. I think I can say what I'm saying now, which is here's what they're telling me. So as we just said, that these beings come down and block us from using nuclear warheads to destroy our planet. That is off limits. We can kill each other. We can do a lot of things. We just can't use nuclear, weapons. Okay. That's where they draw the line. Okay. So now what the new thing is, and the reason that they're buzzing around is that, hold on, I'm getting something new. Is that, I'm going to go tell you the first thing. And then if the new thing comes in, I'll share that with you. Is that for entertainment purposes only, and this is just my opinion. I'm trying, and allegedly, I'm trying to be very careful here, right? The United States, there's other countries too, but let's just talk about the United States. The United States has developed, or not developed, we have discovered something new that is above our ability to understand it. So it's like when we discovered the H bomb, we really didn't understand the level, or I hope we didn't understand the level of destruction that would happen when we used it. I know that the maker of the H bomb had really regrets. So, you know, we've discovered something else that is really bigger and more dangerous, more destructive is the word they want to use, not dangerous, more destructive, not than the H bomb, but more destructive than we think it is. With our limited understanding, when I say our, I mean maybe the Defense Department or whoever defense contractor they want to say. Yes, it's brilliant. The thing they've discovered is brilliant. Yes, it's going to change everything. Yes, maybe in the end, it would really protect the United States, right? Because as these things go, the person with the biggest stick wins, right? However, the thing that the people don't understand is they're only understanding this much of this thing that they've discovered. That leaves like literally more than three quarters of unintended situation or circumstances that we don't know about. And you don't know what you don't know. We don't know. They don't know. They have such limited understanding of the physics, of the law of dynamics. I don't know if that's really a thing, but that's what they're talking about. That we cannot understand what this thing can really do and the after effects of using it. It's kind of like they're showing me, and I'm telling you guys, I would not know any of this. Madame Curie isn't anyway. Did she have something to do with radiation or something? Or I don't know. I'm seeing those little beads that move around. I don't know what that is. Anyway, you know, when we discovered a lot of medications or a lot of things like mercury, we didn't know that it was dangerous, right? I mean, we didn't know cigarettes were dangerous. We thought they was great, right? So this is where we are, except for that they want to say this thing that we've discovered is an order of magnitude worse or an order of magnitude more dangerous. So what is happening is, for the most part, like say 95 to 98% of these drones that you're seeing are here to keep us from, basically in Susan parlance, doing anything stupid. They're here to keep us from doing anything that we're going to regret, that frankly they're going to regret. We're too naive and uneducated and unable to understand the concept to even know we're going to regret it. That's the problem, right? So in essence, it's like parents have come into the room and they're here to make sure we don't do anything that not only us, them, but also the existences around us regret. Now, again, that 2%, 1% copycatters, because unfortunately this, and this is, they're saying this is good. Okay, right? This is good. This is good in the spirit guide parlance. Um, I was going to say, unfortunately, our enemies now know that you can fly a drone and we don't have any laws. We don't have any way to handle that. You can't just go around shooting. Some of these drones or some of these UAEs or some of these UFOs that these planes saw were at 14,000 feet. One of them shot up to 50,000 feet. Some of them are as low as 1,000 feet. Police don't have the wherewithal to shoot that down. Number one. Number two, whenever somebody gets any sort of lock on it, it goes dark. It disappears. It goes off the radar. They can't find it anymore. So there's no way for us to effectively deal with this. Now, let's say some country flew a drone into San Diego or something like that. And there's a reason why I said that. I don't know why, but I'm just telling you, I don't say things for no reason. Let's say this drone came into San Diego. I guess there's also a big Navy thing there. So, and let's say it is a real foreign man-made operated drone. Well, that's going to be on our radar. We're going to have to deal with that. Can we shoot it down though? The guide said this a long time ago, and they're going to bring it up again, which is these countries that don't have any freedoms, like China, Iran, Russia, Saudi Arabia to a degree, right? A lot of these countries that their citizens just don't have any autonomy, they don't have any agency, they don't have any freedoms. They use our freedom against us, right? They use our freedom of free speech against us by pouring disinformation in that overwhelms our ability to consume it and understand if it's real or if it's fake. Well, also, they're using these laws against us. If we have a law that says no one can shoot down a drone, well, guess what? That pretty much gives them carte blanche to fly right on in here. And now they can, because they're seeing it on the news that all these UAPs, UFOs, drones are flying all around. Now, the spirit guides are saying this is good, and here's why. Because it really is giving us an opportunity, and I really think the Department of Defense met today. I know Congress has been meeting about it. the government is really meeting about this, going, wait a minute, maybe this was the wrong idea. Maybe we need to have some sort of clause where we can identify a drone. And if we cannot find its owner within, say, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, we shoot it down. The problem is, do we live in a war zone? No. Let's say this drone is in San Diego, but it's actually over a neighborhood. And guess what? It gets shot down and it crashes right into your house. Some of these drones are as big as a car. We are not set up for this. We're not. We don't have any way to deal with this. We are sitting ducks. So the spirit guides are saying this is good in the sense that not only are these things here to protect us and to keep us from going too far, but also to show us our weaknesses, to show us our vulnerabilities. Because if a drone does get launched from a ship, from even a fishing vessel, whatever, from the water, and it comes into the coast, how are we going to deal with that? If we can't shoot it down because it's going to fall on a person and kill them, again, countries that have no freedom, they don't care about their people. They wouldn't think twice about shooting it down. And if you happen to be under it, oops, right? If your apartment got damaged, oops. If your house got damaged, oops. We're not the same. We care about our citizens. They use that against us. The guides are saying they use citizens from free countries as shields, right? So we're their shield. All they have to do is operate over, say, a busy grocery store or a mall. Or, a friend of mine just told me that the NFL was at the congressional hearings about these drones. Why was the NFL at the congressional hearings? Well, we have Super Bowl coming up, and perhaps they wanted to have the dome open, or perhaps they're just worried that, however many 100,000, I don't know how many people go to the Super Bowl, plus the whole tailgating situation. That's a big confluence, as the guys want to say, a confluence of people. And, the NFL is probably like, hey, what's going on, right? Help us out here, protect us. So there's two things that you need to understand. Okay. What I'm getting is these drones are UFOs. They're here to protect us. They're here to keep us from doing something wrong, or, something that we're all going to regret. They're also here to prove to us and show us that we really have to move very quickly about getting some new laws or new plans or even new technology to deal with drones. Now, we're not talking about dealing with them. We're talking about dealing with human engineered and piloted drones. When I say piloted, I mean from a place, not in the drone, right? They have the video game controller there somewhere else. So this new technology that could work on a human piloted drone could be something like a jammer, but also could be something, I'm seeing this net that perhaps we have a perhaps and Pluto is going into Aquarius, which is all about wild inventions, like crazy technology. So this is all coming together at the right time. Okay. So I see this jet with this net that deploys. The net captures the drone, and the drone hangs down beneath the plane. It's captured. It debris don't go anywhere. We have the technology, so we know what the plane is. Now, the guides just said that there's a problem here, and that is that if this is a defensive strike against us, they could remotely blow up the drone, right? So these are all things that we've never thought about. We are way far behind in this situation. And to go back to the UFOs, they're saying, we're helping you understand that you've got this huge vulnerability here and you need to move very quickly. You need to put a lot of bright minds and a lot of resources, cash, money, resources towards dealing with this situation. I know that there's technology because they're telling me. I mean, there's technology that we could have these, we have cell phone towers. Well, we could put something on the cell phone tower that literally jams any drone motor or however they can figure it out over a certain size, right? I mean, the other thing that they want to say is, and they've been saying this for a long time too, as we go into 2025 and beyond, our freedoms are going to get a little smaller, right? Because we have to do something with 2A. We can't just have people print a GUN at home and go use it. We've got to do something with the First Amendment, because what is free speech? You know what I mean? Where are the guardrails? We might have to pull these guardrails in tighter. Well, another thing is we might need to pull the guardrails in tighter in regards to drones in general and drone hobbyists. Now, this has already begun. There's many, many places you cannot fly a drone. You're not allowed to fly a drone. But again, it's state by state. And then also national parks and different places have their own rules. But we need to start tackling this. So this is what I have for you about the drones. My guides really honestly say it's good. I will tell you, if something happens and a drone crashes or does something, that's the 2% of the copycatters. Okay. I'm not going to rule out that something bad doesn't happen from a drone. The energy is there. It's just that the majority of these things that we're seeing are really UFOs, and they're here to keep us from using this thing. And I know a little bit more about it. I don't know how much I should share, but it's not a BOMB. It's more like they want to use the word dissemination. So it could be sound or light or air particle. It's that kind of weapon. It's not a BOMB weapon. It's what did they just say? Dissemination, meaning like laser, like you disseminate something. You let something loose. Maybe it's a laser, maybe it's I don't know. It seems like they just say that it's an inactivator. That's what they want to say. It's an inactivator. When this thing is pointed at people or like a regiment or something, it inactivates them. Maybe it puts them to sleep. Maybe it causes their blood pressure to drop. Maybe it causes them to pass out or to go into like a catatonic state. I don't know. This is what I feel like. I want to say vendors, meaning contractors, defense contractors, have discovered this thing and they are ready to go hog wild with it. But the problem is, even though it looks slightly innocuous, look up the word innocuous if you don't know what that means. Even though it looks like it wouldn't be that dangerous, it actually has repercussions that we are not thinking about. I mean, really bad repercussions. That it's like they're telling to me, it's like letting the genie out of the bottle. Once you push the button on this, you've let the genie out of the bottle. So they don't want us to push the button. And that's why you see these swarms. Um, and then also I think we could talk just very briefly about disclosure. I've never really cared about disclosure because in my world, they've already disclosed themselves to me. You know what I mean? I have a long history with aliens since when I was a little kid. Since I was a little kid, they're disclosed. I know they're there. You know they're there. But I guess what I understand with this situation is that there's a new level of disclosure, a new more openness of disclosure. Um, irrefutable. The word they want to use is it will become irrefutable. You will not be able to deny their existence, is what they're telling me right now. Now, the last thing I'll say is I believe, and this is Susan, they're probably going to disagree with me. They're saying they're already disagreeing with me. They're saying it is as you make it. But I was going to say there are good ones and there are bad ones. And they said it is as you make it. So I still disagree, but that's okay. Um, they would put the blame on humans. They would say the need for um, I could ask them about that. The need for evil acts. I mean, evil is a human word, but um, I don't know what word they don't even have a word for evil actually. So I'll use the human one. Is human. It's human, right? So if a human has um, wants some things done that are powerful and perhaps not in a betterment of mankind, then that's on the human. Now, so somebody did ask in the questions, and I'm going to do your questions in another video. I just wanted this to be its own video because some people are into this and some people are not. Somebody did ask about the cow mutilations. Um, in the past, maybe in the last couple of years, I've gotten that cow mutilations were testing for like pesticides, testing for. So if you think that cows eat the grass, grass being like a good they're calling it and they're interrupting me to say cows are a species indicator. Okay. Like when cows start dying, humans got problems. Okay. Because they're eating the grass and this in the soil, it's in the food chain, right? That we grow our crops in the soil, right? So they're saying that they're they in the past, they have, I'm going to ask them a new question, but in the past, they have said that this is a species indicator and that they want to understand the effects of our what are they saying? The effects of our interruption of our environment, meaning pesticides, climate change, all those things. Okay. Now, I'm going to ask today, why are y'all mutilating cows? You know, are you mutilating cows and why? Testing. What they're telling me is testing, and they're not that's not there's no follow-up question allowed. That was not an energetic answer that I would like to follow up a question for. It was more like testing and that's it. Like when your parent says no more questions. Like that was that testing. Okay. So there you have it. That I still think that stands. There could be some other things happening that we probably don't want to know about, that could have to do with genetics and cloning, um, yeah, stuff like that. Okay, I'm channeling. I honestly don't know what I've just said. I hope this sheds some light on the situation. Let me know in the comments what you think is happening or if you have questions. Again, in the description of this video, I'm going to put the link to that very interesting video that is basically just the audio of all of the pilots, maybe like 3 or 4 different pilots that saw very similar UAPs, UFOs in the very similar airspace on the same night. They all called into air control tower, and the guy even was ending his shift and he said, look, call in and tell my replacement what's going on. And he even said, please send us video and pictures because there's a lot of controllers up here that are very interested in what you're seeing. Okay. This is real, you guys. It's time for us to just admit that it's real. And then it's time for us to deal with it. However way, like we need another thing, right? I mean, the very least they could do is come down here and sort things out, right? So take really good care. I will do your questions. If you're wondering, my spirit guides answer your political questions. I have that on my community page. Again, go to the main YouTube channel for Susan Lynn, Spirit Navigator, and you'll see a community post that calls for your questions. Put your questions there. I'll be doing that video next. Take really good care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon. For entertainment purposes only.